Tucker Carlson thinks the United States government has had direct contact with alien visitors for years, and he finds it disturbing. Now, the word aliens may not be the word that Tucker would use potentially. I'll let him sort of explain that in this clip that I have. He thinks there's a spiritual component to all of this. So he doesn't necessarily think that these are ET in the sense that they're coming from another part of space. Again, I'll let Tucker sort of explain. So I made a video earlier about Tucker Carlson being on Breaking Points with Saagar Enjenti, all right? And there was just a small clip floating around on Twitter because the full interview wasn't made public yet. Well, it finally came out, and I've got an extended version of that. It's more than double of Tucker talking about UFOs and aliens and the spiritual component and all these other aspects. So, and don't forget, he interviewed David Grush as well. So, look, I'll let Tucker explain most of this. So, hi, Vetters. I'm Patrick. For those of you that don't know, this is Vetted. Put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So hit that subscribe button, y'all. Really helps us out a lot. And, of course, hit that like button. That's free. And comment down below of what you think of Tucker Carlson's comments here. There's a lot really to unpack, that we've had direct contact with them for years. They may not be aliens in the sense that we think. There is a spiritual component. We keep talking about that on the show here. And just curious if Tucker being involved with this is beneficial. I see a lot of hate for Tucker of him jumping into the space, and a lot of people do not want him to. So what do y'all think about this? So look, let's jump in and see where we're at. All right, got it queued up. There's Saagar Enjenti, Tucker Carlson, again on Breaking Points. And again, I'll put a link to this so you can watch the full interview with us if you want. All right, let's go.
The time. I know you're on a tight schedule. My last question here is we have shared passion for UFO transparency, and you made a comment very recently, which has gotten a lot of attention in the UFO world, that you've learned things that have made you afraid. And I've seen there's been a lot of, I think, right-minded skepticism, not even just from people who are more establishment-minded, others who are like, well, if the government is quote-unquote acknowledging UFOs, and that's how I know that it's not real. So you seem to be a believer. You've spoken with Dave Grush. I've met him as well. He seems like a very, he at least, at the very least, I don't think he's lying to me whenever I was spoken to him. So what gives you assurance that what you're hearing, what you have come to believe is not a government psyop, so to speak?
Well, everything's a government psyop, including UFOs, but that doesn't mean that there aren't UFOs. And I think I know the comment you're referring to. It was on Clayton Morris's, an old friend of mine called Clayton Morris's podcast, a great guy, really interested in this topic. And I said that there are things that I don't want to talk about, and I, as usual, didn't fully explain myself. If I had, verifiable facts about this phenomenon, I would immediately put them on the air, because I'm committed to that completely, because my whole life is about that. So I should have said more clearly, I can't be certain. This is just what I believe based on, talking to an awful lot of people about this, some of whom I trust a lot, some of whom I trust sort of. I mean, you're trying to piece it together from lots of different places, but no, these are my views, okay? They can't be proven, but I think they're informed views. The phenomenon is real. It's been recorded for thousands of years. We know that. There's something buzzing around us in the skies, but also under the oceans, we now know, and probably underground as well. So it's real. The government's lied about it a million different ways, probably for a million different reasons, for at least 80 years. That's also confirmed. They're lying about it now. Who knows what their motives are? And they're also trying to keep a lot of this stuff from being disclosed. That's true.
Yes.
So to those people, it's like, it's a psyop. Well, yeah, everything's a psyop, but I know for a dead certain fact, and it's provable, that, say, Mitch McConnell and Speaker Johnson and people and a couple committee chairmen who should all know better are trying to prevent the UAP Disclosure Act of 2023 from taking effect in a meaningful way. So they are trying to hide it still. That's a fact. My own view is that these are not aliens. There's no evidence that they've come from somewhere else. We would probably know. We've got a lot of technology that's watching what comes in and out of the atmosphere, and there's no evidence of that. I think they've been here forever. This is my view. Again, it can't be proven, but I'm just telling you, after a lot of conversations, I think it's likely that the U.S. government has had contact with these, direct contact, and over a period of years. I find that really disturbing. Because and a bunch of other things that are highly distressing that I can't prove, and so I'm certainly not going to throw them out there. But I'll tell you this: I've talked to a lot of people about this, not because I've never been interested in UFOs until like 5 years ago, and I was like, wait, this is real. What is this? Why aren't we talking about this? I'm just like coming at it from a totally idiotic, I don't know anything, curious position, which is my normal posture on everything. And so I've talked to a lot of people, and my view is that this is my opinion, that there are things about this that are really disturbing. And while I hate any kind of government secrecy, and if I could prove any of this, I would say it immediately, consequences be damned, I do sort of understand why they don't want to let this stuff out. It's not about, oh, we've got fragments of one of these crafts at a Lockheed, facility in California, and we have biologics from the craft. Everyone knows that that's likely true. Well, it's certainly true that they have the, pieces of this stuff.
Yep.
But I think it's likely that it's darker than that, and that the U.S. government is, I say the U.S. government, people in the U.S. government, not the U.S. government, but there are it's the largest human organization in history. Parts of it, have knowledge that is very, very disturbing. And I personally strongly think that there's a spiritual component to this that I don't understand and will not pretend to understand. But I think it's very clear that there's a spiritual component to this. That's one of the reasons the Vatican, and I'm not Catholic, but has been involved in this for over 100 years, has an observatory, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's pretty obvious that these are not men from Mars. And I think that was a psyop, because I think the truth is a little bit wilder and has deeper implications just than that.
Giving us even more to think about. Tucker, I want to thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, right? You got Tucker Carlson making a lot of comments, right? That the Vatican has been involved in this cover-up for 80 plus years. They're living in the oceans underground. We've had direct contact with them. There's a spiritual component. They're not coming from outer space. We would know that. It's very disturbing. Right? There's just a lot to unpack. I don't know. What did I miss there? There's just so much. He's had so many conversations. I find it odd that these craft, if we're saying we have this craft, that it didn't come from outer space, right? So are they just for certain that it's coming from the ocean or underground? If we have this craft, I don't understand. I don't understand. The spiritual component, just don't know what that means. So yeah, there's just so much to unpack there, y'all. But to me, the craziest part of that is all of it, but really just that we've had direct contact with them for years. What does that mean? Who? Right? Because he says, in one part of his answer, he says the U.S. government has had direct contact with them for years. Okay, and then the next part, another part at the end there, he says the United States government, and then he corrects himself and says, well, people within the government, right? Because it's this big organization and blah, blah, it's broken up. So did he mean that about the beginning too? About us having direct contact with them? What does he mean that we have had direct contact, the U.S. government has had? Which people and how many contacts, and how long was the contact? Like what came out of the contact? Right? Where just America is involved with this? We've had contact with one species, one entity, several, and different species and races of species, or was there several representatives there? What were they wearing? What time of day? Who else was involved? Was there catering? There's just so many questions when somebody says something like that, because I want to picture when that happens. This is what I do. I immediately picture what they're saying. And when that happens in my mind, I start wondering, how do I fill in all the spaces, right, to imagine this? So then I start to look for the details. Well, what did it smell like? What were you wearing? What time of day, right? All these things, so I can help fill in what's going on, what's at the table, right? That they're sitting at. Like, did they sit at a table? Did they go on board and have the communications? Did the beings come to them Is there a place that they always meet, or do they just randomly pick it? Is it telepathic communicate? What does that mean? We've had direct contact with them for years. And I mean, of course, all the other points, right? They're coming from, there's some things that Tucker Carlson says as a matter of fact, like, yeah, well, we know we have a craft, right? We know that the government's been involved. We know that the Vatican's been involved. We know like this is proven, right? Like that they're coming from underwater and underground. Like, it's not proven. I haven't seen anything, right? What are we? I don't know, man. Why can't whatever Tucker Carlson has seen, why can't we all see that stuff? What is it that's convincing him so much? All these conversations, all these people, why can't he just put them on camera? Right? We'll verify it. Just show it to us and then we'll verify it. Right? Or he should start verifying it. I think this is honestly the truth. I think if this is a psyop and it's all bullshit, then that's going to come to light very soon. Why? Because there are so many eyeballs on this now, and so many people outside of normally looking into this are starting to put spotlights on, and they're not really going to accept any bullshit. So if they think something's there, they're going to push, and right, something's going to happen. Like, we're just getting a lot of people involved and looking and wanting to investigate and find out what's going on, and that's just going to grow and grow with time. And if this is all made up, then that will come to light. But so far, that has yet to come about, right? You think about people like Richard Doty, right, who readily admitted, hey, I infiltrated UFO play. Why are there not more whistleblowers like that? That's odd. There's whistleblowers the other way, but why hasn't, right? If so many people are skeptical, why hasn't someone lied and come out as the opposite kind of whistleblower, right? Like Richard Doty, right? That's what I don't get either, right? That's kind of odd. But again, will these things that people like Tucker says, and again, he makes sure to point out several times, it's just his opinion, and that's fine. That's what the internet's for, and that's what freedom of speech is for, and happy to talk about all this. But I would be curious to know where it is he's getting his information. Who are these people that he's speaking to? Because again, the spiritual component is taking control right now, y'all. It is. I'm telling y'all, I've looked at a lot of UFO stuff, and it is in the lead right now. It is starting to become like the top theory and narrative, and it's getting talked about a lot. And that is becoming like the top dog. Right? Is David Grush talking about some of that? Is he going to start to really push that angle? Is that really what it is? I don't know, man. Yeah. So, look, we'll wait and see what happens. 2024 is, regardless of what happens, 2024 is going to bring to light new things, right? Really hearing David Grush's firsthand knowledge is going to really help us out. Has he touched a craft? Right? Has he seen a body? Has he seen a craft? What does that mean, firsthand knowledge? If he's seen videos and photos, I don't consider that firsthand knowledge. But again, that's where my focus is going to be. But it is interesting to hear from people like Tucker, who are just getting into it, trying to figure it out. So I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me in the comments. Can't wait to read them, see what y'all say. All right. We'll see you on another video. Again, y'all, I apologize. At the end of every video, this is going to be 2 times in a row, I keep saying, oh, I'm going to do this video tomorrow. I'm going to stop saying that because something always happens and it changes and whatever. So I don't know what video is coming out tomorrow, but I do have some great videos. I'm working on this David Grush sort of end of year video, and I guess that's sort of what's screwing things up. And just new things pop up that I think are more pertinent to show you than maybe what I thought before, right? So anyway, A lot of great videos coming out. So anyway, thank y'all again for watching, Vetters. Hope y'all enjoyed the video today. Of course, if you haven't already, hit that like button as always. And again, y'all, we have well surpassed our 3,000 mark by the end of the year. So we might hit 4,000 before the end of the year, y'all. I don't know. It's getting crazy. So thank you to all the new Vetters out there. We appreciate you. Remember, every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see you on the next video. I'm Patrick with Vetted. Remember, every day's a gift. Peace, Vetters.